Good morning. My name is Joseph Holscher. I'm a student at Pacific Christian High School, a varsity surfer, and a co-founder of Surfers Who Serve. Surfers Who Serve is a student-led organization that empowers young surfers to create positive change through community service, environmental stewardship, and leadership by using our passion for surfing to support our communities and protect our oceans. I've been surfing the Santa Monica Bay since I was 5 years old. Between myself and the two friends here with me today, we have spent a combined 2 decades in the water. The ocean is not just a hobby for us. It's not just an Instagram photo. It's our community, our outlet, and honestly, our way of processing everything this generation deals with. Surfing teaches you presence in a way almost nothing does. When a set is breaking, you're completely in the moment. For teenagers growing up in a world that constantly demands something from us, that kind of clarity is rare. It keeps us grounded, gives us confidence, and shapes who we are. To us, the ocean is home. When the fires destroyed my hometown of Pacific Palisades, it changed the way I look at our coastline and our responsibility to protect it. My generation has already watched communities and ecosystems disappear, and we cannot allow the beaches that define Southern California to become another casualty of that devastation. That's why I'm here today, to support the California Coastal Act and stand with the California Coastal Commission to oppose AB 1740. Because our coastline deserves long-term protection, not short-term decisions that could permanently damage it. At Surfers Who Serve, we believe young people are ready to help and lead right now. We've already spoken at Santa Monica City Hall about student-led beach cleanups, collecting pollution data, and partnering with businesses on Adopt a Storm Drain programs, and using social media and AI technology to help our beaches. We are building our futures around protecting the ocean. The ocean is not just somewhere we spend our time, it is a part of who we are and where we see our futures. We want future generations to be able to experience that same connection with these beaches and waters we had growing up. And if we truly want to create strong future leaders, young people need a voice in these conversations now. We are not just the next generation waiting in the background. We are ready to contribute ideas, energy, and solutions today. The ocean has shaped my generation in so many ways. Now it's our responsibility to stand up and protect it. Thank you.
Next up, we have Arshayan Desai, Teal Green, and then Anjani Desai.
Morning. My name is Arshayan Desai. I'm a student at Brentwood High School and founder of the Blue Goal Initiative that inspires sustainability through soccer, surfing, and conservation. I'm also co-president of my school's Surf Rider Club, where we bring students together through surfing, ocean stewardship, and positive well-being. I want to tell you all what we are seeing in the water. Bacterial advisories now appear even on warm, sunny days with no rain. After the Palisades fire, hundreds of destroyed properties sat along the Malibu coast for months, with ash and debris washing into the ocean. Since then, we have had to check ocean health advisories like the weather just to go in. Last March, we witnessed one of the worst toxic algae blooms devastate this coastline. Tons of marine wildlife washed ashore on Santa Monica beaches. We saw contamination warnings, beach closures, and marine ecosystems overwhelmed by ash, chemical, and debris. We have been able to link these blooms to warming temperatures, pollution, and environmental imbalance, and they're becoming more severe. Excess nutrients from fertilizers and untreated wastewater fuel these outbreaks, while concrete surfaces have replaced the wetlands and green spaces that once naturally filtered runoff before it reached the ocean. Last year, we asked Santa Monica City Council to partner with us on green infrastructure near the beaches, including rain gardens, bioswales, and permeable pavements to reduce runoff and filter pollution. But AB 1740 moves in the opposite direction by allowing more development and more impermeable surfaces without Coastal Act protections. The ocean is not just scenery and recreation. It is our identity, our health. It is healing and connection. It is where our community goes to celebrate, to breathe, and to feel grounded. We ask this commission to oppose AB 1740 and stand for stronger environmental protections and a healthier future for our coastlines, our communities, and the generations that depend on them. Thank you.
Next up, we have Teal Green, Anjani Desai, and Kelly Holscher.
My name is Teal Green. I'm a student at Pacifica Christian High School. Last July, the three of us organized a group of students and surfers and went before the Santa Monica City Council. We did not go to complain, we offered solutions. We said we were willing to participate in restoration, education, and advocacy. We asked for stronger protections, more resources, and real environmental leadership. Stronger, not weaker. That is why it is genuinely so hard to understand Santa Monica co-sponsoring AB 1740. This city has long prided itself on being one of the most environmentally conscious in California. Leading the effort to undermine the Coastal Act is not that legacy. If this bill moves forward, that will be what the city of Santa Monica is remembered for along this coastline. The Coastal Act turns 50 this year. That is not a ceremonial milestone. It represents a generation of Californians who looked at what was happening to this coast and decided it was worth protecting for. Not just for private interest or short-term development. That decision shaped the coastline we inherited, it shaped the surf breaks we paddle out to, and it is the reason we get to go to the water at all. We are not experts in every provision of AB 1740, but we understand enough to know that weakening this commission's authority does not serve coastal communities, marine ecosystems, or our generation. The answer to a stressed coastline is not fewer protections, it is a stronger enforcement, real investment in restoration and accountability. We grew up in this ocean. We want our children to have the same opportunity. Our ask before you here today is for the Coastal Commission to put forth every effort in opposing AB 1740. Thank you.
Next up, we have Anjini Desai, Kelly Holscher, and Ashley Olson.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Anjini Desai, and I'm here today in strong opposition to AB 1740. For my family, environmental stewardship is not a slogan or a political talking point. It is how we live our lives every single day. My husband and I have raised our 3 children to not only care deeply about the ocean and our coastline, but to take action to protect them. My son Arshayan founded the Blue Goal Initiative, focused on action through soccer, surfing, and conservation, leading the change towards sustainability. He believes in providing opportunities to youth and building a generation of young leaders ready to protect our blue planet. My daughter Ayana chose to study environmental science in college and completed a fellowship in climate resilience. She's an environmental climate scientist working in Conservation and Development Commission. Our family spends countless hours volunteering, organizing cleanups, advocating for marine protection, and participating in our conservation efforts throughout our community. My daughter has spent time underwater as an avid scientific scuba diver and underwater videographer. She has seen firsthand the beauty and the fragility of our marine ecosystems. She has watched habitats change, documenting biodiversity that many people will never ever have the privilege to see with their own eyes. Our coast is not something we can afford to gamble with. What concerns me most about AB 1740 is that it moves in the wrong direction at a time when California should be a leader, strengthening coastal protections and not weakening them. When these ecosystems are harmed, communities are harmed with them. Coastal Act exists because past generations understood that once our coast is damaged, it's incredibly difficult, almost impossible to restore. These protections were in place to safeguard public access, marine ecosystems, water quality, and wildlife habitat, and the natural heritage that belongs to all Californians, not just today, but for future generations. This is about responsibility. Responsibility for future generations, responsibility to frontline communities, responsibility to the ecosystems that cannot speak for themselves. My family deeply believes in action over words. We teach our children, if you love something, you protect it. If you benefit from nature, you become a steward of it and leave a place better than you found it. I urge you to strongly reject AB 1740 and continue upholding the strong coastal protections that make California a global leader in environmental preservation. Thank you so much.
Next up, we have Kelly Holscher, Ashley Olson, and Eric Johnson.
Good morning. My name is Kelly Holscher, and I'm here today as a mother of 5 children who have all grown up along the Santa Monica Bay. My kids are surfers, paddle boarders, swimmers, true water enthusiasts. The beaches of the Santa Monica are where my family has spent so much of our lives together. From surf camps to junior guards, to paddle boarding, surfing, boogie boarding, and watching the sunsets, these beaches have shaped our children's childhoods, and then some of our best family memories have been spent there. I also want to be honest with you that I have not always been a huge fan of the California Coastal Commission. When we built our family home in 2016 in Pacific Palisades, we experienced firsthand how frustrating and time-consuming the process can be. Even though our home was more than 2.5 miles away from the coast, we still had to navigate layers of approvals, waivers, and felt overly bureaucratic. But after watching the fires that destroyed my hometown of Pacific Palisades, where most of our friends and our children's friends have lost their homes, where our church and our grocery stores are gone, and where so much of our community disappeared overnight, I've come to better understand why the Coastal Act matters. Regulations can feel frustrating, but there are moments when protections matter deeply, and this is one of those times. I believe there has to be balance. We have to streamline the approval process so our families can rebuild their homes and their lives without years of delay. But we also need legislation that protects our coastline so that our children and someday their children can continue benefiting from the gift that is the Santa Monica Bay. What I see now is a generation of young people deeply connected to nature. My son Joseph and the students involved in Surfers Who Serve are stepping up with solutions and ideas. They want to organize beach cleanups and explore environmental technologies, collect pollution data, and advocate for the health of the oceans and beaches. They are becoming advocates and taking the time to show up and let their voices be heard. So instead of telling young people what to do, we should also listen to their ideas, especially when we are making decisions about the environment they will inherit long after we're all gone. That's why I'm here today in support of the Coastal Act and in great opposition to AB 1740. Thank you.
Next up, we have Ashley Olson, followed by Eric Johnson, and then Scott Garvey.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ashley Olson. I am a commissioner for sustainability, environmental justice, and the environment, and the former chair of Clean Oceans and Beaches Measure V committee for the city of Santa Monica. I also founded the Coastal Alliance, an organization that advocates for coastal protections. I'm here today to also ask that the Coastal Commission fight AB 1740 with all your resources. I also want to tell you that the community in Santa Monica is very upset about 1740, the lack of public input, the surprise of finding out that our city has co-sponsored this bill, and the nature and how we found out about it. Many neighborhood organizations and community organizations have held emergency meetings to take a position on 1740. Northeast Neighbors, North of Montana Association, Wilmot, Friends of Sunset Park, Santa Monica Neighbors, and even the Santa Monica Democratic Club Legislative Committee had a hearing and all voted to oppose, well, overwhelmingly to oppose 1740. It has become very controversial in our city, and right now we are trying to make sure that our elected leaders hear us and hear our voices, because it hasn't seemed to matter thus far. I understand that the city has re-engaged with the Coastal Commission for their LCP, which I'm very happy to hear, but they're not being transparent about what the hiccups were before and why the application was pulled in 2020. I am very curious to know where the disagreements lie, and I want to point out that 1740 is a dangerous proposition for our city, as the resident sentiment overwhelmingly opposes it. I understand amendments are on the table and being discussed, but if 1740 passes, local control is given to our council, who are endorsed by Abundant Housing and Streets for All and contribute to their campaigns. Many in our community are extremely concerned with our council having authority and how it is transferred to them. Santa Monica claims to be the pride of coastal stewardship, but as a co-sponsor, the city will leave a legacy by setting a precedent and weakening the Coastal Act. Thank you.
Next